Welcome back to Daily Flash. Our next guest, Morgenfruh, has a new book out. It's called Never Fire Anyone. And the book is basically about a new leadership model based on trust, empathy, and relationships strength. Mark joins us now, and we welcome him to Daily Flash. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
It is my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so in your book, you're saying that trust and empathy builds relationships that actually go above and beyond and transcend the limits of traditional boss-employee models. But you got to explain that because it's such a tight line between boss and employee/friend, I imagine, right?
It absolutely is. I think inherently we all understand we can't do a lot of good things with others without trust in one another. And so the employment relationship is this positional relationship where I tell you what to do as a boss, you do what I ask you to do, and then there's this rating system, et cetera. And I think it doesn't erode trust or prevent trust, it just doesn't foster trust. And we all know that trust is the cornerstone of relationships. And if you can't have trust in one another, you can't do great things. And so that's what I think is foundational to the relationship of having core solid trust in one another. And then you translate that to relationships that people will run through walls for you if they know you care about them.
Well, I think you're right. And you said the word trust, it's huge. It's like, oh, well, you give somebody an assignment, you trust that they'll finish it. And I imagine that trust needs to be built somewhere, and that's where the relationship comes along. You also say that having a good work relationship means you have to talk about the bad as well as the good. Are we talking about like things they're not doing right if I'm a boss talking to the subordinate?
Well, the only way you're going to build trust is with candor and transparent communication. And that's the only way you're going to get to a good relationship. I'll give you an example. I had an area director and a regional manager. The area director came to me and said, so-and-so is just not cutting it. I don't understand what the issue is. And I said, listen, if you really care for this person, you have to have the tough conversation. You have to tell them what you're observing, what's not right, and get down to the root of the issue. Cut to the chase, come to find out it was a literacy issue. And the regional manager did wonderful work when he could look at a picture and build the item from the picture, but the paperwork was horrible because he had literacy issues, enrolled in English as a second language courses, and they have a rock solid relationship from that point forward. It's because you simply just sit down as human beings, forget the relationship, forget boss, peer, boss, subordinate, and just have a conversation like two grown people.
I like that idea. Now, you say never fire anyone. Okay, as a boss, I would imagine that is actually a new way of thinking. But what does that mean? Are you talking about really not firing anybody or what?
I do almost categorically. There are a few handful reasons, of course, that we can all understand. You just can't be here anymore. You steal, fraud, if you lie to a customer, things like that, violence in the workplace, things like that. I would even argue that somebody who's using illegal drugs in the workplace, it's a cry for help. If they are that addicted and they need help, that you shouldn't fire them. You should give them counseling and treatment and get them to a better place. But almost ostensibly, yes. What never fire anyone is as a model, it's a value, not values-based kind of corrective model.
Okay.
You have the talk where they're missing. You have them attempt to correct it. If they can't, you do what the military does. You are reassigned to a role and a pay class that allows you to contribute positively to the organization. And then you either redouble your efforts and you're successful, or the truly unhappy people at the end of the line self-select out of the organization.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And it's an environment. If you think about it, environment is something that's built by relationships, whatever they might be. Very interesting information here, Mark. Really appreciate it. And if maybe you're a boss, or maybe you want to become a boss, or maybe you just want a better work experience and you want to find out more information and get a copy of Mark's book, it's called Never Fire Anyone. Just check out neverfireanyone.com. We'll also have this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com.